Hey guys, this is Ravenclaw with If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now, last time on What If Deku was born in a Fallout apocalypse, pretty much my Fallout Academia series. Let's do a short recap because it's been a little bit since I have done a part of this episode. Some of you might be, lost when it comes to story. As Izuku and was forced to escape from his home as he was captured by a woman with silver hair, a girl with silver hair, ended up turning to be the leader of a raider group as he spent many years there as a prisoner. He finally did join the ranks of their little raider group. As some time down the line, the sirens and the blood sirens were attacked simultaneously by the Institute. As Izuku and Viper was separated and no one knows where Vex's location after her man told her to run. Izuku was hunted by a glowing Deathclaw. They had a few words for Izuku as he pretty much says you're gonna die. That's pretty much the gist of what the Deathclaw said. As Izuku waited for a good amount of time for to get to someone come and get him. After waiting at the rendezvous point forever, as Jiro, finally, decided to come and collect Izuku, as she informed the Vipers she's here to bring him to Viper. So they're holding out on one of the shanty towns nearby. So that's where Izuku and Jiro is heading. As a couple days travel, as they have to stop for the night, as Izuku and Jiro take shelter in a abandoned house, a ruined house that has really doesn't have a whole lot of roof to it, but there's enough for them to be covered by the rain in case it rains. As Jiro is making a little fire in a wheelbarrow. A metal wheelbarrow where you find those in the street, as if you're like if you live in the street, those metal containers that they put stuff in to burn to make a fire. As I forget the actual name of it, I don't remember at the moment, so sorry about that, guys. But you get the gist what I'm going for. As Jiro finally gets the fire going, as Izuku's just sitting there watching the fire crackle. I've been meaning to ask Izuku, as Jiro looks at Izuku as she's just curious. What is it, Jiro? Do you miss it? As miss what? Being an enclave. I am worried about my mother, but outside of that, I have no longer want any affiliation with the Enclave. You know as much as I know that the Enclave has done some very messed up things. When something goes wrong in the wastelands, it's usually the Enclave's fault. That's just how it goes, apparently. They're so hard on that whole purity thing. Never really understood it personally, but I never questioned it because, Mother run the whole cell, so I couldn't really do much about that. And I was fortunate enough for not to come across any other cells of the Enclave. Because you know as much as I know that they would have had me executed on the spot. As he takes off his mask, as he takes off the wig, as he points his ears. Having a mutation, yeah, the Enclave are not cool about that. Best case scenario, they would force my mom to execute me personally. As they turn in for the night, as we cut to a couple miles, as you see a glowing thing, a glowing creature standing against a tree, looking onto the building that Izuku and Jiro were staying in. As you see the glowing death claw, as his claws are wrapped around part of the tree. As he begins to move, as he sliced the tree, as there's a mark from his claws, indented into the trunk of the tree. Jiro and Izuku eat breakfast before they get to travel back onto the road. As they're traveling, as they finally get to their destination, as the city has a big metal gate, as Izuku sees soldiers in pure black, as they have a similar kind of, the females have a kind of similar look to them as Alice from the Dragons, as this is one of the Dragons' territories. They have full control over this town. As Joe, we need to be careful while we're in here. Izuku, what's going on? This city is run by the dragons. This is only one town that they control. So we got to be careful. Okay. As Izuku puts his mask back on, as he steps in the city, as the guard asks him what their business is doing here, as I'm meeting family. We just picked up cousin and all. As she passes Izuku in the back. As the guy, what's with the mask? He's kind of self-conscious about how he looks. Whatever, get in. As Jiro and Izuku get to a one of the houses, as Jiro knocks in a certain pattern. That's a sliding eye hole slides down to the right. Does mean that Jiro, you're here. Is Izuku with you? Yeah, he's here. Mina opens the door. And she goes up to Izuku and makes sure he's alright. And she gives him a hug. She's like, thank God you're alright, Izuku. As thanks, Mina, I guess. As Mina's never this touchy-feely with Izuku. She usually keeps a distance. As she's like, I'm sorry, you should definitely go see Vex. As Izuku sees a room, as there's only 3 doors. Well, 4. Technically the bathroom. As as Mina says, the one on the right is my room. The one next to mine is Jiro's, and yours is, with the boss. As she points to Viper's room, as Izuku knocks. Izuku sees Viper laying on the bed as he just sits down on the front of the bed. She slowly opens her eyes, as they finally open, as it widens, as she jumps up and grabs Izuku. As she pins him to the bed. She has a knife against his throat, as she rips off his mask, as she kisses him, as she throws the knife, as it pierces the wall. As she looks at Izuku and gives him a hug, after, the passionate kiss that she gave him. Thank God you're alright, Izuku. Was the knife necessary, Viper? Extremely. I had to make sure it was you. I highly doubt anyone could take me on and take my mask and try to impersonate me. I have to be careful. After all, old habits are hard to break sometimes. I suppose it is. Any word on Vex? No, but I do have an idea where she is. There's only one place she'll go. One place she feels safe. We'll discuss that in the morning, but for now, me and you've been away for a while, and I did not like that. So me and you're gonna spend some time together. As what do you mean by time? As she kisses him as she begins disrobing as Izuku and Viper have a passionate night. As we're not going to get into all that, but that's pretty much what happened. As the next morning, Mina knocks on the door. As she pokes her head in, she sees Izuku and Viper in bed. As Viper has her arms around Izuku as she's cuddled up. As Izuku's tail, is wrapped around Viper's waist. Not on purpose. His tail likes to wrap on things when he sleeps. Izuku has a long tail because his mutation is a panther mutation. It's a black panther mutation. As when Izuku was born, when the Inko found out her son had a mutation quirk, there was only one branch of the Enclave that suited him with his appearance and his ability that he would slowly gain. As the Black Panther was a perfect fit for the assassin branch of the Enclave. Jiro grabs Mina as she closes the door gently to make sure they're not awake. As Jiro's like, "Don't bug them. You know how Viper feels about Izuku." "Yeah, no, I was just curious." Party pooper. Understand why Viper likes him. After you take off that mask and that wig, he's quite attractive. As Mina, walks off to do her own thing. As several hours later, as Izuku and Vex finally get up. As they walk out the room, as Vex calls everyone attention, as she called over Jiro and Mina, "So what's the plan, boss?" There's only one place Vex would go. As Mina and Jiro back home. Exactly. Guess we're going back home. A little earlier than planned, but we have to report back to the boss anyways. Back to the clan mother. As Izuku's confused. "Oh yeah, we haven't told you about that, have you?" "Yes, me and Vex we run the raider groups. Well, was a raider group. Now we're no longer a raiders group anymore. Stupid robots, but no, nevertheless, the Banshees and the Blood Banshees are a extension of the clan mother. And we were just the main purpose of the Banshees is to gather resources and be the eyes and ears for the clan mother. That's pretty much all we are, really. And me and Vex, I joined the clan much later than Vex. She was raised by the clan, but they've treated me as like one of their own. As she pulls up her sleeve, as so does Jiro and Mina, as there's some sort of clan mark on their arm. And well, the clan mother will be interesting encounter, at least. It's been a little bit, and she's probably pissed that I haven't, contacted her more recently. I kind of haven't talked to her about a year or so. The main problem is the way we have to go. We have to go through a super mutant camp that's been recently placed there. With all the intel I've been able to gather at the tavern, a couple of the pubs around here. We're going to have to mow through them to we are going to have to mow through them in order to get back to the get back to home. So I suggest everyone gather any resource you can get: ammunition, stim packs, rataways, anything you can get. Izuku, you're going to stay here. As Izuku, why? Well, the mask, super suspicious, by the way. I do love it though, and well, they're not fond of you know, ears and all that. They look past Mina because they just figure, she's some sort of experiment or, whatever. We usually have Mina, as Mina points to the cloak. Yeah, I have to travel around a cloak all the time. I can't really show my face. I've been stuck here too, and exactly. They're not too keen on mutations at all. You pretty much get the same treatment as normal ghouls get. Pretty bad. But don't worry, sit tight. I'll be back. And by your mannerism, it would be giveaway your enclave. You still haven't broke out of that routine yet. It'll take time. What I've been told. Because you've been with the enclave longer than I have. So their teachings are a lot more rooted into you than I was. Very well, I will stay put for now. Don't worry, Izuku. I won't be long. We get all this settled. Reunite with Viper. That's the only place I think she would be. If she lives. But knowing her. Yeah, she's a survivor. And she gets closer to Izuku. And she lifts his chin up with her finger. And she kisses him. Don't worry. I won't be gone long. Now don't miss me too much. And after this is over, once we get back to home base, we could have a proper discussion about whatever we have going on at the moment with us. Come on, Jiro. I'll need your help. As Jiro and Viper goes off to get supplies, ammunition for bullets, and some other essential things that they need for travel. As Viper and Jiro leave, as Mina sits down on the table. So, what you been up to since you've been gone? As nothing much, Mina. She sits down. She gets up, Izuku something to drink and to eat, and she slaps some food down, breakfast and all. Nothing much. Just a crazy talking Deathclaw trying to kill me. That's all. As Mina thinks it's a joke. Seriously, what were you up to? I told you. You were serious? Yeah, I was. The Deathclaws have been a lot more intelligent since, my mother's little experiment. That's a load of fun. Apparently, my days of my enclave days are catching up to me. Apparently, more faster than I realize. I'm gonna have to take it out eventually. I have a feeling it's gonna keep tracking me no matter where I go. Have you told Viper? Not at the moment. Jiro most likely has already spilled the beans to her already. As when Izuku said that, as you cut to the conversation with, Jiro and Viper, as she's pissed that Izuku didn't tell her about that, as Jiro's like, yeah, that's what he told me at least. Well, me and Izuku are gonna have a little chat about honesty. As Jiro's like, oops, I think I got him in trouble. Oops. Jiro and Viper finally come back with their gear. As she sets it down. We'll leave in about 20-30 minutes. And you, Izuku, we're gonna have a nice conversation. Follow me to our room. As Izuku, here we go. Listen, Izuku. I know what happened. Jiro told me. You need to not hide things from me. I'm restraining myself, Izuku. I don't want to damage that little face, that pretty face of yours. That's the only thing stopping me from knocking you down, from clocking you right now. As she lays her head against Izuku's chest. Bothered by this, really bothered. Of course, Izuku. I don't like the fact that you keep things from me. I figure I should be important enough for you to tell me things. Maybe I'm sorry. I really didn't see the big deal. I mean, it's after me. It's trying to kill me. Exactly, Izuku. That's what hurts me the most. That you don't trust me enough to express your problems. We could easily take it out as a team. All four of us. As Izuku sighed, fine. From now on, I will tell you. I will not keep things from you. Good, Izuku. Because I don't like being angry with you. It's the feeling. It's the feeling I'm not too fond of. As she takes a mask from Izuku's hand gently, as she puts the little wig on he likes to wear to hide a lot of his features. As she placed the mask on Izuku, I think we're done now. We got all that drama out of the way. Now we could get going, Izuku. We have a long road ahead of us. We'll see Izuku and as Viper, as you know, Jiro sighs in relief. At least he's not dead. The last person that tried to keep information from Viper, well, as you know, Viper had him executed on the spot. As Viper's big on trust. As they finally get everything ready, as they begin to leave, as they exit the town as stealthily as possible to draw no attention. But you know how Izuku's looking, it's kind of hard not to draw attention. He screams, you know, shady as hell. As he did get a lot of looks, but you know everyone went to their own business. As they finally leave, as they go on the road to go back home to the mother tribe, or you know, back to the tribe. I don't know what to name this tribe. Give me a second here, guys. Let me figure out a name. I really don't know what to call this tribe. I had the idea of like when I was going to make this when I first started this series, but I couldn't really come up with a good name for it. So I'm gonna give you a brief rundown what this tribe does. Naturally, it's a tribe full of mutation quirks, but there are non-mutation people there. They don't shy around with they don't have any prejudice against non-mutation quirks people in general. There's few normals in there. Not to sound, you know, very rude. That sounds bad, but you know, non-mutation quirk people there, part of the tribe. But it's a place where it's a safe haven for a lot of mutation quirk people. You have Izuku in the group. As Izuku lays on the ground, pulls out his binoculars, as he sees the encampment of super mutants, as they made an encampment right in the middle of the pathway leading into the canyons that they need to go into. It's not really canyons, sort of say, but it's a rock formation. As there's only one way enter, and the super mutants made a camp right in the middle of it, where they have to go through the base order to get to go back home to the tribe. Can't go around it because there's cliff sides everywhere, and there's only one way, and you have to go strictly through that little super mutants encampment. As you can see, several super mutants with miniguns, a couple shotguns, and some of them have rifles. as he sees those super mutants that have mini nukes, as when they rush over to you, they explode, as they're mostly suicide units. Viper lays down her stomach right next to Izuku, as Izuku hands her the binoculars, as she looks at the situation. That's bad. There's definitely those mini guns. Those are definitely we need to take those out as soon as possible. But our first targets should be the ones that are carrying the mini nukes. We need to take them out first. As as Mina and Jiro takes out their own binoculars as they look at the situation. I agree, ma'am. Hold off our attack for now. Let's observe them for at least a day. See what they do. Make sure there's no extra ones that are out about doing recon. I saw a abandoned place a little downwards, down this way. Let's go over there and we'll camp there for night. And it gives a clear view of the encampment, so we'll be able to keep eyeing them at all times. That's across from the bandit camp, as there's about a mile away, as there's a old abandoned church, as Viper and Mina and Jiro and Izuku head off to that direction. Get to the door of the church. All right, Mina, Jiro, clean sweep. This place most likely have ghouls, so we'll have to clean sweep it. If we're lucky, there'll be nothing in here. As Izuku and Viper hear gunshots throughout the church. As the Supermans did hear that, but they hear gunshots all the time, as there's raider groups around the area, so they're not going to investigate. It's probably some raider group. They don't want to bother. As it finally be quiet as Jiro, walk over there as Viper slaps him back of the head. I can't believe you girls didn't even do it. You should have used your silencer, girls. There is a group of super mutants that would love to tear us apart. Sorry, ma'am. We'll remember next time. Whatever. Just scavenge for food. As me and Ziku find a proper place for a sniper spot. Grabs Ziku hand. Come on, Ziku. Let's check the bell tower. As Viper and Izuku, as they observe the super mutants, as Viper, I was afraid of this. As a larger group of super mutants are traveling back to their little base, I knew they had reinforcements. I had a feeling there was more of them. A encampment this big had a lot more super mutants involved. Here, take a look, Izuku. And she hands him her rifle as he looks through the scope. As he sees it, you're right. If we attacked them, we probably would have got flanked. Yep, and we probably would have died. I did not survive this long for a pack of super mutants to kill me. Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to have to, go in shifts. Pulls out his binoculars as Izuku's checking around. As he has he's just curious if the thing's following him. As he sees it, as it's undercover. As Izuku sees the glowing, it's like, shit. What is it, Izuku? The Deathclaw. It's following me. I knew it. That makes our job even harder now. As Viper's thinking what to do. As Izuku has a light bulb on his head. As Easy, I might have an idea. As Viper, what is it? What's your idea, Izuku? How about we use this my stalker to our advantage? What are you getting at, Izuku? Simple. All we need is a little bait, and he'll come running through, and we'll have, the Deathclaw kill the Supermans for us. Are you insane, Izuku? I'm not going to use you as bait. That's not happening. It's not the most ideal plan I have at the moment, but we can use that as we could use the Carnage to sneak past. What about you, Izuku? You're gonna be wide open. And judging how you've been talking about this Deathclaw, it has a grudge against you. We really don't have much of a choice, Viper. We either try to sneak in, get ambushed by the Deathclaw, or we attack the mutants and have the Deathclaw make as much carnage as possible so you girls could sneak through and then I could follow afterwards. I swear, Izuku, sometimes I think you have a death wish sometimes. Why do you always put yourself in these sorts of situations? The longest time ever since I've gotten to know you, you've always put yourself in these sort of situations. You don't look out for yourself. You always put everyone up before you. I don't I don't really have a response for you, Viper. It's just I always tend to find myself in these situations. Ever since I left Enclave base. As she sighs, as she, grabs on Izuku by his collar. As she gets really close to him. Listen here, soldier boy. If you die, you're gonna hurt me. And I will not allow that to happen. You're not dying on me. Do I make myself clear, Izuku? Yeah, I'm not gonna die. I have no plan to die. I have no plans for dying. If you get killed, I'm gonna revive you and kill you myself. As Izuku sees the worried look in her face. As, he gently touches her cheek. It's gonna be fine, Viper. I've been trained to be in these sort of situations, after all. The assassin branch are nothing but, disposable pawns for the Enclave. Once the Deathclaw shows up, follow us immediately. You're gonna you gotta cross the bridge before the Deathclaw catches up. After that, I can't help you. It would take too long to get reinforcements from the tribe. If that bridge goes out, you have no way of rescue. And I will have no way of saving your ass. Like this one bit, Izuku, but we really don't have a choice. So I agree upon your plan. As Izuku and Viper, as they're sitting down talking, as she, she's curling up to Izuku as it's getting kind of cold. Can I ask you a question, Izuku? As Izuku, yeah, sure, Viper. What is it? Why did you never try to escape? Well, you were kind of a prisoner at the time. I mean, you could easily have done it. I mean, with your skills and how fast you can move, especially when it comes to shadows, that would have been a very easy feat for you to do. The truth, Viper, I had nowhere to go. I have no future with the Enclave. If the other cell came across my mother's, let's say my fate wouldn't be, you know what exactly happened to me. Yeah, I know. And, and I couldn't really leave. I mean, as he whispers it in her ear, I mean, my captor was kind of hot, so, I stayed with it. I just stayed, to see where it led to. Viper starts blushing a little bit. She was taken off by that. What? Say that again. No. As, she gets on top of Izuku. Say it again, Izuku. Fine. I find you very attractive. Hot. As Viper has a seductive look. Really, tell me more. As, they got interrupted. Ma'am. Of course, Mina. What is it, Mina? Can you see me and Ziku are having a discussion? Yeah, I could see that you're having a moment, but we have um we have some problems. What is it? There's a death claw out in the field, maybe a half a mile downwards. Yes, I'm fully aware. Izuku has informed me that the death claw has been following them. Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God! I thought we were in trouble here. Oh yeah, we're in trouble. But my Izuku here has came with a very suicidal idea. I do not agree with it, but we have little options at the moment. I will discuss everything in about 4 hours. Leave us, please. Yes, yes, of course. Viper. Sorry again. As Mina walks off, was going to wait until we get back to the tribe to discuss this with you, but considering how you want to go and do a suicide mission, um, we're going to discuss it now. I'll be frank with you, Izuku. I like you, and I'd like to continue this, whatever this turns into. Mm, I'm not I'm not that type of girl that wants to be courted. When I see something that I want, I take it, and I chose you. Life is too short to pussyfoot around things. Share the same feelings, Viper. It wasn't planned, but I do care about you to a very scary degree. Don't get me wrong. I care about my mother, but you're the one that has my loyalty. My mother betrayed me, kept a lot of things from me. And I know sometimes old habits are hard to break. I'm always keeping everyone at arm's length. But you're the one that kind of barged in and kind of stayed there. And I'm quite fond of you, Viper. Extremely fond. If you want to phrase this as we being an item, I have no disagreements whatsoever. The Viper has a smile as she sits on Izuku. As she looks into his eyes as she's like, good. If I catch, you flirting with any girls or women, I'll gut you. Don't worry, Viper. I have no interest in other girls, women besides you. That's good. As she gets up, so does Izuku, as the chain of the shift, as Jiro and Mina took over, as Viper, gets ready for the big battle that they're about to face for the operation. She's making sure Izuku has all his equipment. Viper, don't forget these. I'm not having you needing these and not having them. As she hands things of some more plasma grenades. You're still worried? Of course I'm worried, Izuku. I don't like leaving you in these sort of situations. I wouldn't even put any of our peoples in that situation before our raider group got decimated from those institute people. The fact that I hold you very close to my heart, it makes this a whole lot worse. As she gives Izuku a hug, she's like, "This, please be careful. Don't worry, I'll be perfectly fine. My training should get me through this pretty easily. I hope so, Izuku. I truly do. As they get some rest. As we're going to stop it off here. Hope you guys have a good night and day and judge my time sense. Catch you in the next video.